Hey, my name is Sydney. Jordan and I are going to be discussing articulation and resonance today and what role those play in speech production. Then we're going to talk about swallowing along the lines of articulation and resonance. So, firstly, articulation in a general context is the process of joining two elements together. Articulation for speech, however, is the process of bringing two or more movable speech structures together to form the sounds of speech. In the oral cavity, the undifferentiated buzz produced by the vocal folds is shaped into phonemes. In speech production, articulation plays a very important role. For instance, the source filter theory of vowel production describes how the oral cavity shapes speech. It states that a voicing source is generated by vocal folds routed through the vocal tract and then shaped into sounds of speech. Moreover, the vocal tract consists of the oral cavity, pharynx, and nasal cavity. Within the vocal tract, there are articulators, which are structures used to produce sounds of speech. These structures may be mobile or immobile. The mobile structures are the tongue, mandible, velum, or the soft palate, lips, cheeks, larynx, pharynx, and hyoid bone, whereas the immobile structures are the teeth, hard palate, and the alveolar ridge. However, the articulatory system does depend on three important structures: the lips, the tongue, and the soft palate. The lips provide the movement for speech through the muscles of the face, are important in both facial expression and speech, and have social, cultural, and aesthetic value. The tongue can act as an organ of expression and depends on its own musculature. The soft palate separates the oral and nasal cavities. Its muscles are elevated during most speaking time and when swallowing, and its muscles are depressed only when using a few speech sounds in English. Secondly, resonance is a vital part of the buccal cavity, which is a cavity of the vocal tract. It is also very prominent when speaking about nasality. For instance, hypernasality is defined as excessive nasal resonance due to inadequately closing velum, which is the soft palate again. Moreover, when speaking about speech production with reference to resonance, resonance contributes to voice loudness and efficiency. Because of this, articulation and resonance are both equally important when referencing speech production. Without both, we wouldn't be able to speak. And here is Jordan to talk more about swallowing along the lines of articulation and resonance. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Jordan, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about mastication and deglutition. So, mastication is a chewing process which involves the grinding and crushing of food in preparation for swallowing. Deglutition is the swallowing of the food, which is a complex process of moving the bolus from the pharynx to the esophagus. A bolus is a ball of food that is formed when you're chewing, and the pharynx is basically your throat. There are 4 stages of swallowing. They are the oral preparatory stage, the oral stage, the pharyngeal stage, and the esophageal stage. The oral preparatory stage is when the food is prepared for swallowing. This is where the food is mixed with saliva in order to form a bolus in preparation for swallowing. The bolus again being a ball of food. Next, in the oral stage, the bolus is pushed to the back of the throat where it is then propelled into the pharyngeal stage where it is then swallowed. Finally, in the esophageal stage, the bolus is pushed through the esophagus and eventually enters the stomach. These are the 4 stages of swallowing. The ability to effectively swallow your food is an essential part of living. If somebody struggles in any of these 4 stages, it can be detrimental to their health. When we first started this semester, our professor, Dr. Jones, stressed that swallowing is the only area that we practice in where we could accidentally kill somebody. So in a sense, swallowing is very serious and very important for your survival. If you can't swallow your food properly, then you can't live a normal life. going back to different parts of the body involved in articulation and resonance. If you don't have all the normal parts of your articulatory system, then it can make it much harder to swallow food softly. So like for instance, if you have part or all of your tongue removed, it can make it very difficult to effectively swallow your food in a safe manner. All of these systems that we've talked about are all interconnected with one another, and if they aren't all working in harmony, then it can cause serious problems. Thanks.